Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It is Korea Scott and I'm back with another banger. I do want to clarify today that I'm dropping on Saturdays now. I feel like it is more beneficial for my schedule. A lot of the times Friday I'm busy working, so I can't really get much editing or final edits done on that time period. So I feel like Saturday morning is a better time for me to have it already pre-scheduled, especially because I work during the week, so it does get a little hectic during the week, and I feel like this is a little bit better for me to have breathing room, to feel like not rushed about anything that I release, because I hate that feeling. I just wanted to clarify that little point. I'm going to be talking about temptation, aka the devil's opportunity. I think this topic is really prevalent in a lot of people's lives because we can't really distinguish. Sometimes it's indistinguishable, like the difference between a blessing and temptation or tempting. Sometimes they all look very good. They look like they're meant for you. Opportunities or different things that present themselves that you've been asking and praying for. And the one key thing that I always take note of and make sure other people know is that the devil can hear your prayers too, which, is not good, because it's like, if you just knew that God was the only one listening, it would be a lot easier to be like, oh, this is definitely God's blessing, versus understanding and knowing that the enemy knows what you want, knows what you're asking for, and decides to use that to his advantage. Luke chapter 4 verse 13, it says, when the devil had finished all this tempting, he left him until an opportune time. So obviously this story is about when Jesus was in the wilderness, and the devil just kept tempting him, saying, if you do this, if you do all of this, basically trying to get him to fall within temptation. And obviously Jesus is smarter than that, and so he doesn't fall into that temptation. But the key thing that I picked up with this passage is that verse. And at the end it says, he left him until an opportune time. Meaning, he didn't leave and think, oh, he's done for, like, I don't have to mess with him anymore. He left, and he's sitting in the shadows, lurking, waiting for a time that he can come and tempt him again. And this is so powerful to know, because we're giving a playbook of how he acts, how the devil acts. And this is the best playbook to have, because now you know how to defend yourself or counteract. And knowing that he waits for an opportune time at all times to catch you slipping up, to catch you so he can tempt you with what you desire, with what you always wanted or dreamed of or prayed for, and to present it in this like nice present for you that's got this nice bow, and when you unravel it, everything falls apart in your life. And that's one of the major ways that you can save yourself, is if you understand the difference between an actual blessing versus a temptation that can lead you astray from your relationship, from fulfilling who you are supposed to become. There's so many things that it can affect. Without that knowledge of knowing, is this what God has given me, versus is this something that I've always wanted that's worldly, that the devil has tempted me with. I say all this to say it can be hard to distinguish, especially if you're new to faith, that you immediately see something great that you've been praying for, and you think, this is the blessing, like this is what I've asked for. But the problem that most people face is that you have to actually communicate with God about that blessing. So if you're not taking the time to ask God, hey, is this what is meant for me? you're going to miss out on the fact that he might be telling you it isn't. And a lot of believers think that God is supposed to talk to you in this strong voice or soft voice or whatever voice. And sometimes he doesn't. He doesn't physically talk to you. You don't hear an audible voice that isn't of your own. Sometimes you can read the Bible and a situation in the Bible might speak to you in that sense. That can be him communicating about your situation, any advice that you need. Or you can literally have a stranger tell you whatever opportunity you're looking at, don't take it, or wait, or be patient. And so those are, he sends people or things or cues that you are more susceptible to understand if you're open to listening. I had a lot of situations where it's like, I know this is what I want. I know this is what I need, but I don't think this is what God has planned for me just yet. And it takes a lot of willpower to have the patience and understanding and conversation and faith to rely on the fact that the blessing that you see in front of you, that you know would be good for your life, that you know would benefit you, isn't meant for you just yet. Yeah, it's a lot of work. It takes a lot of quiet time and fasting and praying. And yeah, it's just, you have to stay on your toes. You have to stay on your P's and Q's. You have to be aware of what's surrounding you. So I do want to give a couple more tips. I know I've listed some already, but I do want to give a couple tips about how you can distinguish if it's temptation or if it's a true blessing. Whatever it is, isn't helping better your fruits or growing you closer to God? Is it giving God praise at any point? Stuff like that. If you watch out for that, you realize, okay, this might not be a blessing. This might be a temptation. Just the thought of Jesus always moving slowly and having patience. He's never rushing anywhere. He's never ran anywhere. You don't see him running at all in the Bible. I think the most he did was ride on a camel's back. And camels are slow. So it's not like, he's always in a rush to do things. He's not, even when he's going to save people, he's always walking. Obviously they didn't have cars back then, but I know they had some form of transportation that was faster than walking. So he could have done that, but he didn't, because he knows that within patience, there are always going to be blessings. As believers, we have to walk in that same light to know that with patience and understanding that if this blessing is, or this temptation is causing me to rush, causing me to feel like I have to hurry up and do something, or have to hurry up and act on it, or the opportunity to be gone, that's how you know it's not a blessing. It's more of a temptation to get you to fall into that trap, to get you to fall back into whatever it was. And I guess one example I could say for my life is I had a time where hours at the studio were really slow and I was looking for another job, and another job came and it was like hire on spot. And then I went, got it on spot, and I was like, wow, I got this other job. And during that time, I felt like this is the worst job of my life. It was so bad. It was so bad. But the pay was exactly what I had, literally to the T, what I had prayed for. Position, title, what I had prayed for it. And I was like, oh, this is literally great. I thought I was walking into this great opportunity, this blessing. And I realized within a month, this is not good. And it was also driving me away from having a closer relationship with God. This was a little like mid last year. So when I had left, that's when like I got even closer to God and doing like more fasting and praying and stuff like that. And when I read this scripture maybe like a month or so ago, it came to my realization that that was exactly what happened. Is I fell for temptation because the money was nice. It was helping me in my life the way I prayed for. And I thought it was a blessing the whole time. It was just temptation, just to make my relationship not as strong with Christ. So yeah, that's just an example of my life, my personal story, and how stuff like that can happen in small ways and huge ways, and you won't even pay attention to it because you'll think you're living in a blessing. But when you start to feel more disconnected or more miserable about what you've been given, just know it's not from God. It's not from God. It's your worldly desire that you chose to go that route instead of listening and connecting to him more. Just a little short episode today, just to talk about something that I feel like everybody needs. If you felt like this helped you in any way, thumbs up the video. Make sure you comment. Make sure you subscribe. Share always. And I hope you have a wonderful week. I will see you next Saturday, since that's a new day, at 5 still. So yeah, stay tuned. Bye.